Study Wednesday, my favorite day of the week. And this one's a little bit special. We're doing something different this week, and I'm really excited for it. I have my co-host on with me today, Kim. Kim, how's it going?
Hey, really good, thank you. Really excited to
Good.
be here.
We're excited to have you on here. Guys, this part of the Million Dollar Case Study, we're doing something a little bit different. We've launched a part two. We're starting from scratch, and this time we're going to launch a product in Europe. So this is really exciting. If you don't know about the Million Dollar Case Study, if this is the first time you've seen anything, then A, you've missed a lot, but B, I'll fill you in real quickly. We are scaling, we're launching a physical products company, and we're scaling it to $1 million in revenue. We're donating all of the profits to Pencils of Promise to build schools in developing countries, and we're sharing every step 100% totally transparently with you guys so you can replicate our success, you can learn from our failures, and our goal is to make this the undisputed best learning platform, the best educational resource for starting an Amazon business online. So it's really exciting. So for part two, like I said, we have Kim with us. Kim is British, so it's perfect because she's going to help me translate my American English into proper Queen's English so we can do product research on the UK store a little bit better. So I'm really excited. What do you think, Kim?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We can turn those Z's into S's.
That's right. Or in the US, it's Z's, not Z's. So there you go
Z's,
again.
yeah.
No, but this is cool because we're also doing something a little bit different this time. What we're doing is some of we try to collect as much feedback as we can to, like I said, make this the best educational resource online. And one of the pieces of feedback we got after we launched our Jungle Snugs, so we have these hooded baby towels on Amazon right now. One of the pieces of feedback we got from people is, they're like, well, was this product just successful because Greg was launching it and because, Greg has launched other products before? And, my strong argument would be no, but this time we're going to do something a little bit differently to make sure that you guys don't have those common fears and concerns. This time, Kim's going to be launching the product, and I'm going to serve as a little bit more of a mentor. And I think this is really good for you guys because I will admit that some things probably seem kind of like second nature to me. So I probably don't say them or, I kind of skip over those parts. So I'm really excited about this part two, the Europe edition of the Million Dollar Case Study, because Kim's going to be doing all the work. And Kim, what's your Amazon background? Have you launched a whole bunch of products before or what?
No, obviously I've been involved with some of the other Jungle Scout products, but I've never gone through the whole process and launched my own product before. So it's
Yeah, so this is that's cool. Yeah, so I feel like this is perfect because a lot of the people watching this right now are probably in the same shoes, right? Because they've probably read some stuff on our blog, maybe they've seen a few of these, but they haven't launched any products either. So you should have all kind of the same questions, concerns, whatever else. So I bet you can do a much better job teaching them than I'll be able to do.
Well, it'd be with your help too, Greg, because when I get stuck, I'll be asking you for help.
Yeah, it'll be cool because we're going to be doing all of that live. We're going to be doing all of the question and answers and stuff live on these webinars. So you guys will be able to hear the questions that she asked me. I'll be guiding her through the process. We'll be bringing in other industry experts if we need to, just like we did part one where we launched the product, our Jungle Snugs in the US store. So yeah, this is going to be really cool. With that being said, what do you think? Should we go ahead and get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, sweet. So, session one, we're going back and we're starting at session one because we are going through this whole process again. So if you are familiar with the Million Dollar Case Study, if you've seen some of ours before, you know that we went every step along the way of how to launch these products on the US store. You can find our Jungle Snugs, which is our hoodie baby towel, on the US Amazon store right now. We also have another product called Jungle Sticks, which is bamboo marshmallow sticks. But in order to scale this business up to $1 million in revenue, we need more products. It's going to take too long. I think up to this point, we've sold a few $100,000, and I'll share those numbers with you in a second. But I'm not a super patient guy, and I'm trying to get to the $1 million quickly. So we need more products, and I figure what better place to launch than the European marketplaces, because I know this is an area that you guys would like to learn in. A lot of people have expressed interest in the, selling in the EU, and it's much less competitive than the US, which is always a good thing. So I imagine there's gonna be some people just starting right now that haven't seen kind of like part one of the $1 million case study. And so I'm just going to give like a quick, just like 2-minute recap of what the opportunity is like that we're discussing today. Okay. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be finding an opportunity on one of the EU Amazon stores. We're going to go ahead and just choose the UK, but we could do the same thing with Germany. We're going to be finding an opportunity there. So a product that we want to sell. Okay. And I'm going to go over the criteria for that in a second. Don't worry. I'm going to walk you through every step of this throughout all of these videos. So we're going to find an opportunity there, just like we did with our Jungle Snugs towel. And we're going to find a manufacturer for this product. So it's most likely going to be in China. That might seem like overwhelming or kind of scary to some of you guys to like find a Chinese factory to make this stuff, but it's actually way easier than you would expect. They're really easy to find at Alibaba. We'll walk you through the whole process, how to contact them, everything. It's pretty easy. So we're not inventing a product, okay? Like this hooded baby towel, and we have this little washcloth to go along with it. This already existed. There was already a factory making this. I didn't invent this product, okay? So we're not inventing a product. We're just going to find a factory that's already making these products. We're going to put our personal brand on it, or our private label. So this is a new brand that we're creating. We dubbed ours Jungle Snugs, but you can probably come up with something cooler and more creative than that, okay? We're then going to leverage the power of Amazon to sell this product and take advantage of something really cool called Fulfillment by Amazon, FBA, where we send them our goods. Then when someone orders it, they pick, pack, and ship it. Excuse me for the my frog voice today. I'm a little bit hoarse. But this is super cool because what we're doing is, we don't have to have a garage full of Jungle Snugs and fulfill these when people order them, right? We've sold, I think, like 600 or 800 of these so far in the past couple months. And, I didn't actually see this product until a few weeks ago when I ordered one myself off Amazon. So we're going to mail in like 1,000 of these units, 500 of these units or whatever, to it's like straight from China to Amazon. We're going to put up the listing on Amazon. Then when people purchase these, Amazon's going to ship them. So we never have to do any like the grunt work of like the pick, pack, and ship these products, because honestly, that kind of that's just kind of a crappy job to do. So I'm going to share these numbers with you in a second, but I love this business model for people who just want like a side hustle, who maybe are like trying to sell or supplement their income in the nights and weekends. It's also a great business opportunity for someone trying to build a big business. A lot of people, scale this up to over $1 million a month in revenue, or even greater than that. So this is a tremendous business opportunity, I think, because with, leveraging Amazon, it's unlike having to build like your own e-commerce store where you want to like fill it full of products to make it seem like more like legitimate or what have you. What's so amazing about Amazon is it's perfectly fine to just launch the one product and just do that as a side hustle. And so I asked this question, and go ahead and drop this in the chat box, and I'd love to read off a few guys' answers. But the reason I said $4,000 or $5,000 a month is where our first product are jungle sticks. So these are bamboo marshmallow sticks, they're 3 feet long. In 2016, they profited $52,000 for that year. So this is one product. We only sold one product that year. It was $52,000 in the first year. So that's about $4,000 or $5,000 a month. And that's a very life-changing amount of money for a lot of people. When we've surveyed people and asked people about this before, these are the types of things they tell us that they would like to do with that type of money. Whether you want to travel more, you pay off debt, quit your job, investment in retirement, you're just looking for financial freedom. I'll give you a quick rundown of my backstory and how I got to where I'm at today. I went to college just like a lot of Americans do to be a civil engineer. I graduated. I worked as a civil engineer for like 2 or 3 years, didn't like it. I had this entrepreneurial spirit, and I wanted a way to earn money outside my job so I could quit my job. So I was actually able to replace my engineering income with selling on Amazon. At that point, my wife and I, we quit our jobs, we sold our house, we sold our possessions, and for the past 2.5 years, we've been traveling around. So we no longer have a home. We're full-time digital nomads, and it's a very amazing experience, and I wanted to like help you guys achieve the same thing. So what you can expect out of us, Never during this $1 million case study are you going to see like an upsell for like a $5,000 course or what have you. To be completely transparent, we're doing this to help you guys to raise money for charity. Our goal is to build 5 schools in developing countries. And out of all honesty, we also want to bring additional exposure to our tools, but you don't need them to do this. So there's nowhere along these next 20 sessions or whatever are you going to be like forced to buy something to like figure the rest out or something. We're like doing this 100% totally transparently, and we're going to show you all the steps. So this is, like I said, we want it to be the undisputed best opportunity, the best educational resource online for selling on Amazon, even better than the $10,000 or $50,000 courses out there. What have we achieved so far? In 2016, that's when we launched our jungle sticks, our bamboo marshmallow sticks. You can search them and find them on Amazon right now. To date, or in the past 18 months or so, they've sold $287,000 worth. So that's pretty good. In June, let's see, I think June 2nd is when we launched this product, our hooded baby towels. And they're doing good. They've sold $19,100. Let's see, today is like the 1st or 2nd of August. So you get, it's actually exactly 2 months. They've sold $19,000, or this was actually taken on the 31st, but whatever. So we've sold just over 1,000 units, $19,000. But like I said, I usually total that up. It's over $300,000. But this is a $1 million case study, not a $300,000 case study. So we need to scale up faster. At this rate, only selling $300,000 is going to take another like 3 years to get to $1 million, and that is way too long. We don't have time for that. So we're going to launch more products to help us achieve $1 million in revenue quicker, and we're sharing every detail with you guys along the way. So today we're going to cover the very first step. This is an extremely important step, and it's a step where a lot of people get hung up. However, we're really going to break this down and go into tremendous detail about this. We're going to do at least 2 sessions on it, maybe 3, because it's extremely important. But we're going to go over how you choose which product to sell on Amazon. This is like the make or break point that it's really hard to come back from. If you pick a product that's not a good opportunity on Amazon, it's really hard to do well after that. Okay, and we're gonna show you the exact criteria. We're gonna give you demonstrations how to do it. You're gonna watch Kim do product research, and I'm gonna coach her and answer any questions that she has, and they'll probably be very similar questions to what you have. So we're gonna help you with this. So we're gonna find products to sell in the European marketplaces, build a product list of this, and then at the end we actually even have homework for you guys. You don't get off that easy. There's homework. If you want to learn, or if you want to go the extra step and really like take it the next level up, which we would really encourage you guys to do so, because we're doing this in real time. We don't know what we're selling. Like Kim's legitimately looking for products when she screen shares in a few minutes. We don't have our product pick. We don't have our product ordered. So we're doing this in real time. So I would encourage you guys to do the same thing in real time, and you can follow along. And by the time it gets to the point where you need to figure out how to import it, we'll be doing the video on that. So we're going to be holding your hand along the whole way. Real quick, I think this is a pretty cool graph. This is the Amazon market share, kind of like throughout the world. So the reason we launched on the US store first is because it does have the most market share. It does have the most volume there. As you see in this pie graph, 67% of the volume comes from the US store. Germany has 10%, so it's the next biggest marketplace. UK has 8%, so more or less about the same as Germany. And the rest of the stores like France, Spain, Italy, China, Japan, Australia, India, they have the other 15%. So if you're going to go into another marketplace besides the US, Germany and UK are the best to do so. Today, we're going to focus most of our product research on the UK because it's a little bit easier for us because Kim and I, neither of us speak German. However, the tips that we'll show you today and the tactics that we show you today, you don't actually have to speak the language because the system we've created to find these opportunities is extremely data driven. So it actually doesn't even matter too much if you can speak the language or not, because we're going to be looking at cold hard numbers to figure out like what the good opportunity is. We're expanding into another marketplace, one for the educational purposes for you guys, and 2, we surveyed over 2,500 sellers at the beginning of this year. We asked them a whole heap of questions, and from those questions, we derived a bunch of cool things, like should we expand to more marketplaces or start our own e-commerce store, this, that, or the other thing. And one of the cool things that we found is that those who expanded into a second marketplace actually increased profits by 40% on average, which is pretty tremendous. We'd love to increase our profits. So yeah, we're going to Europe. So a lot of you guys, if this is the first one that you're tuning into, like I said earlier, you may be a little bit overwhelmed, or you might be thinking like, wait, like, do I have to watch? I think we've done 22 sessions so far. Do I have to watch 22 hours worth of content to be able to figure out what you're talking about today? And the answer is no. You can start just with today's session and learn how to launch a product in Europe. So, don't worry about the first 22 sessions. If you just want to launch a product in Europe, just follow along with these. And like I said, we're going to hold your hand and walk you through everything along the way. One other thing I just want to emphasize here is that it can be a little bit overwhelming. Like when I describe that process to you, I'm trying to put myself in someone's shoes who's never sold anything on Amazon before. If you told me that I had to communicate with people in China, which seems like a very far off land to a lot of people, and that I have to import these goods and I have to figure out VAT and taxes and this, my head would be spinning like, holy crap, I'm not smart enough to do this. I don't know how to do all those steps. Like, if I was a brand new person, I wouldn't understand all that. I strongly encourage you guys, like I said, we're going to hold your hand and walk you through all these steps. You're going to be seeing which product we sell. You're going to be seeing our communication with the factory, all that kind of stuff. I would encourage you not to get ahead of yourself, because if you break it down in little bite-sized chunks, everything individually is very easy. Like, I'll show you how to hire a designer to make packaging like this. It's pretty dang easy, okay? But if you start thinking about, I have to do packaging design and importing and finding a supplier and finding a product and PPC, it's like, holy crap, there's a lot of stuff. But if you just take off a bite-sized chunk at a time, which right now is finding what we want to sell, then you don't need to know how to set up a listing yet, because it's going to take like 2 months to get this product manufactured and shipped to Europe and etc. So you have 2 months to learn that, and we're going to teach you before that's time. So don't get overwhelmed and just learn the steps that you need at that time, and we'll show you the rest when the time's appropriate for it. These things, the criteria here, the blueprint that we've created, this is extremely important. So you're going to hear me emphasize this. I'm probably going to emphasize this to Kim when she's doing her product research in front of us in a few minutes. I'm going to say it right now, and then throughout this episode, next episode, you'll hear me talk about it again, because I can't stress it enough. We're going to look for products that have existing solid demand, existing good demand on Amazon. That's one of the most important things. So before I launched this baby towel right here, I went to Amazon and I saw there was already thousands of these being sold on Amazon every month. There was people typing in baby towel or hooded baby towel or whatever else into the search bar and purchasing this on Amazon. So that removes a tremendous amount of risk when you know that there's already demand on something. If I try to guess, if I try to say like, oh, cool, look, I have my Jungle Scout sunglasses here. Like these, I think these are the coolest sunglasses in the world, and I would love to sell these on Amazon, but no one's searching for Jungle Scout sunglasses on Amazon, okay? So a lot of you people right now, a lot of the new sellers that I work with, I hear things like, oh, like I'm confident this product would sell well because I've been looking for it on Amazon and I haven't been able to find it. And let me just tell you right now that that's extremely risky, and I strongly encourage you not to do that, because it like more likely than not, like no one's actually looking for this product. Like I know, like your mom told you it'd be a good product, or that she's been looking for that or whatever else. But the truth is, like, that's extremely risky. So don't do it. Just sell what people are already searching for on Amazon. And that doesn't even necessarily mean the exact same product that other people are selling, but it does mean that there's already searches being made on Amazon. People are voting with their credit cards to purchase this stuff. So there's tons of stuff with good demand on Amazon, but we also want something with low competition, and we'll show you guys how to find that. We need something with good margins. We need something with no legal issues. That means nothing that is, we don't want to put anyone's trademark on our product. We don't want to sell anything that has a patent in the respective region, like the EU or the US. We don't want to sell anything that's supposed to be licensed. So that would be like Mickey Mouse or your favorite sports team or whatever else. Okay. So it has to have all those criteria. Some other things that are nice to have, like if Kim narrows us down to two products, she's trying to choose between them, we'd prefer products that are smaller or lightweight, that are easy to source and ship, which most of the time means simple, small, lightweight products. We'd like to improve upon the product. So ideally, our competitors are getting like 3.5 or 4-star reviews. We can read those bad reviews, make improvements, and sell it with like 5-star reviews. And then hopefully it also has low seasonality. So we don't want to sell Christmas trees because those things only sell 6 weeks out of the year. And we want a product that's going to sell year round. It's better for cash flow. It's better for inventory management, etc. So this is what we're going to be looking at today. This is kind of like our product criteria blueprint. Today we're going to be doing our product research in the UK store. So throughout the niche, like when we make a search for a product, we want the total overall demand to be 1,500 units, okay? So if I search hooded baby towels in the UK store right now, I want to add up how many units the top like 10 sellers are selling, and I want that to be at least 1,500 units. And to me, that signifies that there's good demand in the UK, on Amazon in the UK, for that particular product. If I add it up and there's only like 400 units of demand, that's not enough. There's not enough people searching and buying this product for me to be excited enough to purchase and sell it there. Okay. Like I said, we want something that's not very competitive, and a good way to gauge that is the number of reviews. So in the top 10 spots, we're going to be looking for 4 or more sellers with under 25 reviews. We also want something with a selling price of 15 pounds or more, because if it's too inexpensive, there's just not enough margins left over for us to make money. And then we also are showing the criteria here if you're following along with this but want to launch the product in the US or Germany instead. I will say, we'll go over this more down the road, but by sending our product into the UK, we can actually sell in the other European marketplaces without having to send in more inventory to other distribution centers. So this is the minimum we're looking for. We're looking for 1,500 units total in the UK, but it's likely can be a lot more than that because we can sell our product in other marketplaces as well. All right. So we're going to start by we're going to come up with a list of products. We're going to watch over Kim's shoulder in a second as she does this. So we're going to find product ideas inside of our Jungle Scout web app. We'll also show you how to come up with product ideas, or give you ideas how to come up with product ideas if you want to do this without the Jungle Scout web app. Because like I said earlier, we're not here to sell you anything. I gave you our purpose of this case study. And then we're going to be using our other Jungle Scout tool. And then we'll also give you a free Jungle Scout tool to use if you're just dipping your feet in the water and don't want to purchase anything. So with that being said, Kim, you want to show us, we'll look over your shoulder and take it away.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do this. Does everything look good there, Greg?
Yeah, it looks good. Awesome.
Awesome. So to start off with, I just want to quickly show you this spreadsheet that I've put together. So this is where I'm going to be collating my list of product ideas. Don't worry, this is a sheet. We're going to share it at the end of the webinar. So everyone listening, you can use this too as a template for your own product research. But I just wanted to show you these are the main things that we're looking for. And it totally fits in with what Greg has just explained. So we're going to be looking for the price of the product, the price that you sell it to the consumers at, which we want it to be over £15 for the UK. And then we can look at lots of other things like the net price, once your FBA fees have been taken away, bestseller rank. So that's how well the product listing ranks in the organic search results on Amazon. The estimated sales, this is actually the most important one because we want to know that the product idea has existing demand, that people are searching for it and wanting to buy it. The number of sellers with reviews, and so on. So this is the sheet that I am going to use to generate my product ideas. So as we go along, I'm going to start to populate it in here. And then, as Greg mentioned, I am going to be using the Jungle Scout web app and the Pro Chrome extension. But if you don't have these tools, then there are other ways that you can populate some or all of the data in this spreadsheet. So, for example, you could use our free estimator tool, which I'll just show you that now. So this is the tool, and this gives you some free sales estimates, and it's really cool because we've got all the marketplace support on here too. So for me, I want to go to the UK. So let's say we want to know, let's just pick a random product, a yoga mat. And so we'll pick this yoga mat just here. And then if you scroll down, so you can do this with literally any product that you find on Amazon. And then you want to be looking on here for the rank. So you can see that here. So this one's actually number 5. It's probably not a good example, but
Actually, the one right above that, Kim, 205.
oh,
So,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, 205. Sorry about
And
that.
just to clarify there, anyone like watching, because actually I'm glad you did that because I know that's a lot of people's question is you want to use the rank in the parent category. So that's number 5 in the subcategory underneath sports and outdoors, and it's fitness and yoga and mats. That doesn't give us a great indicator of how well it's selling, but 205 in sports and outdoors, which is the parent category, that does give us a great indicator.
Ah, yeah. So it's number 5 in mats. Okay, so it's 205, so memorize that number. Head back over to here and can't see the sports and outdoors. There we go. Enter your rank into here and it'll calculate that for you. So you can get some really good estimates there for free. And then you could use that to populate the same spreadsheet that we're going to look at today. So that's just an example of how you could do it if you don't have the tools.
And you can find that at junglescout.com/estimator. And like Kim said, it's totally free. Yeah. You don't even have to sign up or anything. You just use it.
For sure, yeah. But with that being said, like I mentioned, we're gonna use the Jungle Scout tools today. It does make the process quicker. You can get access to the data really quickly and easily. And also, I'm going to start using the product database in our web app, because this is a really good place to, if you don't, if you have literally no idea what products you might want to sell, it's a good place to start to generate those ideas. So how it works is you can filter the database based on a whole bunch of criteria. So we're going to start to enter some of those criteria that Greg has just gone through into the database now. So I've already clicked the UK here because that's the marketplace we want to look at. And I have all of the categories selected at the moment. I'm just going to go in there and remove a few, like jewelry, watches, and software, for example. I'm going to leave it quite open for now and leave the rest on there, but you can tweak this and remove categories where you think they're going to be less useful for a private label product. Next up, I can add some filters based on price. So as we've already said, we want the minimum price here to be £15. Any less than that, and there might not be much profit margin available. So I'm just going to enter 15 into the minimum there. And then next up, estimated sales. We're looking for, well, we want to aim for around 1,500 in the top 10 sellers. So I'm going to shoot for about, let's say, a minimum of 200. So that's per product rather than in the top 10. So I think that's about right. What would you say, Greg?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. And just to clarify there, guys, Kim just said that. I'm just going to repeat it, though, because I know there's a common point of confusion. We want strong demand throughout the entire niche, and that's when we said 1,500. But in the product database, you're just looking at individual products. So this is only going to show products that are in the UK that are at least 15 pounds that we know sell at least 200 units or more per month. And then, throughout the entire niche, there's obviously more than just one product. So, yeah, I think that's a good starting point, 200 units.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Great explanation, Greg. And then reviews. So this is the only other filter I'm going to enter at this point. So we want to try and get products where there's not too many sellers with over 25 reviews. So I'm just going to put a maximum in there of 25. And now I'm going to hit search. And straight away, it's populated with lots of results for me. And obviously, those criteria, you can tweak those as you go. And the database does get updated all the time. So you can come back to this time and time again and look for new product ideas. So the next thing that I'm going to do is just scroll through these ideas, and mostly I'm looking at the pictures here to sort of see, what that product is, and then the title of them as well. And then if anything grabs my attention, I'll start to look at some of the data. So yeah, let's get going. So, and you can see all sorts of things in here. So some things you might have never even heard of them before. There's things like NutriBullet cups. So that's probably going to have like patent issues. Duracell branded. We'll keep scrolling until we see something. This was something we looked at in the last case study, but Greg, I think you said that shipping on magnets would be quite difficult. So
Yeah, there could be a few hassles with it. Kim, let's just talk about real quick about when you're scrolling through the database. So like this started out with like 10 million products. Now it filtered down to like a few thousand, 5,000. I didn't see what it was, whatever. When we scroll through, is there still a ton of products? Like, let's talk about real quick, like what we're looking for out of these products. You want to give it a go, or you want me to tell you what I'd be looking for?
I'll give it a go and then you can add to it. How about
Perfect.
that? So I'm looking for things that are not too large, that I think are going to be easy to manufacture. Things that are quite unique, that aren't like branded, like OEM branded, like Duracell or Zebra marker pens, for example. And I guess that's kind of mostly what I'm looking for in the images. And then when I see something I like, I'm going to then start to look at the sales estimates.
Perfect. Yeah, I just scroll through and just look at the pictures, and like you said, things that are like simple, look like I could easily get them manufactured, that aren't, don't have whatever your football team on it, things like that.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. So, okay, I'm going to just go through to the next page. Okay, so dog rocks. Not really sure what they are. It's like a urine patch preventer for, I think it's for grass. I would say this looks like it would be quite a unique product. Hey Greg, do you think this passes your weirdness test?
Yeah, we can take a look at it. I don't
Yeah.
really know what that is, but yeah, if it's selling well, I'm happy to look at it.
Yeah, it has decent amount of estimated monthly sales. So what I'm just going to do is open that up in a new tab. It'll open it up in Amazon. I can just leave that to chill out there for a little bit whilst I carry on looking. I'm just going to wait until I find at least sort of 5 products, and then we'll move on and take a look in more detail.
And when you look, I'll just chime in here. Like when I look through these, I think Kim's doing the same thing. It's like some of them, like that PS4 that looks like, or yeah, whatever. That's like a video game. Like you can't really private label a video game. Like keep in mind here, we're thinking about like products that are good to manufacture in China. So this is just stuff like that. Like hopefully doesn't need like strong quality control, so that means nothing like too complicated. We want things that are just like relatively simple, no like real like difficult or weird construction methods. For example, like barbecue charcoal, I see that right there, Kim. Like I don't know if that necessarily would be made in China. Like that's probably made wherever they get like the wood from or whatever, so yeah, like things that you guys can probably like know or probably have a fair idea of like the types of things like manufactured in China. Those are like the same types of things we're kind of looking at here.
Yeah, for sure. And as well with like the charcoal that weighs 20 kilograms. So again, it's going to be quite large and heavy as well.
Right. For sure.
So this one looks pretty cool. So this is this premium heavyweight plastic cutlery set. It looks like it's in like a stainless steel effect. Pretty good monthly sales. So I'm going to open that one up. That'd be, I think, really easy to manufacture. I don't know much about it, but I presume it's used for like parties or things like that. So we'll take a look at that one. I'll keep going. There's like Skechers. So again, that's a brand. Electrical things. Dog rocks again. Rear view mirrors for Suzuki. Like I think that would be easy to manufacture, but it looks like they would be for like specific models of like cars or motorbikes. So that might be quite niche.
Yeah, I'm thinking that'd probably be a headache to like keep all the different ones in stock.
Yeah, for sure. Reading glasses. Okay, so that'd be pretty easy to manufacture. Looks like they're selling them in 3 packs, which makes the price over the £15 mark. And the estimated monthly sales are pretty high too. So I'm going to open that one
Yeah,
up.
tons of sales.
Yeah. And this is quite common, right, Greg, to like sell things that are in a bundle rather than just the one, because then you'll get a
Yeah, it's
higher
like a
price
great way
point.
to drive up the price. Actually, I see like Nespresso pods right below that, and that'd be the same thing. Like they put three of the 10 packs together because otherwise it'd only be like whatever, $5 or pounds. Instead bundle three of them and triple the price.
Yeah.
Because I guess the reason that's good, guys, if you don't know, some of the FBA fees are flat fees. So I think like the pick and pack fee is like a flat fee of like $2. So if you're selling, or like I don't know, 2 pounds. So if you're selling something for like 7 pounds, like right away, like the 2 pounds flat fee gets taken out. There's a commission on top of that, etc. It's just hard to make money on the really low price stuff.
Good points. Okay, cool. I'm going to keep scrolling. Mason jars could be okay. Maybe, sort of fragile, made of glass. Um, keep going. Cardboard boxes. That seems pretty legit. Like there's good estimated monthly sales. Looks like they're being sold as for people who are moving house and packing. I imagine that's something that people would want to buy on Amazon, right? So we'll give that one a go.
You're doing that right now, aren't you, Kim? Did you buy yours on Amazon?
Well, I'm actually getting rid of all my stuff, so I
Oh,
don't
okay.
I don't need to pack it.
Gotcha. Even better.
Yeah. We'll just take a look at one more page. Okay, so this looks quite big, could be heavy, but I know you can get these smaller as well. They're quite popular. It's like a rail that you can have in your home to like hang your clothes on. I think students use them, people that are into fashion. Looks like pretty good estimated sales. So we'll give that one a go as well. So I've now opened 5 different tabs in Amazon. So just to give you an idea of how to progress this research forward, we'll now move into those. So I'll go into here, and so basically what we want to do is take a look at the top 10 sellers that rank for a keyword related to each product. So in this instance, I think we're going to search for dog rocks. It's not something I know anything about. First of all, we just want to make sure that we're searching all departments rather than the category or the subcategory that the product was in. So let's just go ahead and search for dog rocks. And yep, so this looks about right. All of these products look like they are dog rocks. And then I'm just going to hit the Jungle Scout Pro Chrome extension button up here.
So just give you, I'll just
And
interject real quick here, Kim. For anyone who's not familiar with our products, this is another paid tool. It's not required. It's just a huge time saver, and you can use the sales estimator for free if you don't want this. But as you can see here, when you do use this tool, you click the button, it pops up on, like we're still on the Amazon store here, and you see this window that gives you tons of good information. So this gives you, the price, the category, the rank. Very important is the estimated sales column. And then it gives you other good information too, like estimated monthly revenue, the number of reviews. We don't have some of the other categories turned on right now, but it also gives you other categories like the net of how much you would make after Amazon fees and just like other important metrics that Amazon sellers need to make educated decisions on whether or not it's a good niche or not. So take it away. So what do you think about
right.
this one, Kim? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I've left it. This is something that I got confused about when I first used this tool, but I've left it with the results as they loaded because it will give you the products as they are ranked. So that's kind of how well they rank for that keyword in the Amazon organic search results. And that's what we want to see, right? We want to see this top 10 list of products. I can see straight away that like estimated sales in that top 10 is pretty good. Like probably looking, my maths on the spot isn't so great, but probably about 2,300 there if you added them together. Um, in terms of number of reviews, it looks like, there's one seller there that has a lot of reviews. Some of the others have sort of, so I would say that in terms of competition, it's kind of medium, would you say, Greg? And then the demand for it is probably quite high.
Yeah, I think that's good. I'll make two comments on this real quick. That this product, so yeah, like you said, like the top person obviously has like a ton of results. Maybe they're kind of like the OG in the dog rocks category, like their first ones, I would assume. One thing that we do want to look for, it just reminded me of this, is like depth in the market. So if that top seller had like 1,200 sales per month, but then everyone else only had like whatever 50, even if there was like 1,500 total, we still probably wouldn't want to go into that niche because like something's funny there, right? Or we would at least need to investigate further. Like, why is this top person making like all the sales and no one else is? It's normally because it's some kind of like name brand or like well-known brand. So that's something to be mindful of. This one, I think they're still fine, like depth in market, but it's starting to get kind of like borderline of like what we'd be comfortable with. So yeah, I'd say like it has real solid demand, like you said, 2,000 or yeah, probably even more than 2,000 units. Number of reviews, like the top guy has a bunch, but after that, it's not too many. I think we said in the top 10, we want 4 sellers with under 25, and it looks like it has that. I think it looks like 3, 6, 8. So yeah, I guess only 3 people do, but it's pretty close. So I'd say like solid demand, not too bad of competition. The one thing about this one, Kim, I'd say the price point. It looks like only 1 or 2 sellers are above 15 pounds. So
Yeah.
we need to be thinking about, why are they charging more money? Would we be able to charge that much money, or are we going to have to compete with these other guys for 11 pounds, 12 pounds, 13 pounds?
Yeah, for sure. It looks like the one that we found in the web app was a 2-pack, and that's why the price is higher. But then, when they're sold on their own as a singular pack, the price is probably below what we want. But I think, this is still, it's something that we could look into further. So I could go ahead and add all of the information to my spreadsheet. Um, so I'm not going to do that line for line now, because you guys don't want to watch me do data entry. But just so you know, like, there are a few ways. If you do have this tool, you can export this data to a CSV. So then you could copy it into the sheet and like add up the top 10 using a formula and do it that way. Or if you want to, you could just type it in manually. Or if you're not using the Jungle Scout tools, then you might be getting data from lots of different places. And that's why I think it's just good to have a list, because otherwise you forget what you've researched. You could even add a column to this to add some of your own notes if you have any comments or thoughts as you go along. So it's a really useful thing to do as you go through this process. So let's pretend now that I've added my dog rocks to that sheet, and then we'll move on. So the next one was the plastic cutlery. So I'm literally going to do the same thing, and we'll just take a look at a few. So I'm going to use plastic cutlery as the main keyword. Search for that. I mean, it looks like there's all sorts of varieties. There's like clear ones, colorful ones, glittery ones. So again, we'll have a look at the data for this one. So, yep, again, if anything, the estimated sales look even more promising. So there's definitely some solid demand here.
Yeah, that one has a ton of demand, right? It's probably like 4 or 5,000 units a month. So
Yeah,
lots of demand.
yeah. Be super easy to manufacture as well. So this is definitely one that I would want to add to my list. Probably looking at more competition here, I would say. I can't see any under 25, and the ratings for the listings are quite high as well. So that means the product listings are really good. So I'm guessing the competition would be quite high there, but it's still something to look into, I would say. What do you reckon, Greg?
Yeah, I think we could. So yeah, if I were to look at this right away, I see like the prices again are like a little bit low. We'd like to see something a little bit higher. The estimated sales is huge, which is great. The number of reviews is a little bit higher than what we'd like to see, but we can. What you could do here, Kim, is you could make a more specific search. So I think before, what it was like, it looked like silver colored plastic cutlery or something. You could
Yeah.
try to drill down deeper into, because it looks like this one's clear and color and whatever else. Why don't you run the extension there and see what that looks like? Because I imagine those are probably a little bit more expensive, because like they look and feel a little bit more high end, right?
Yeah, they are a little bit. Estimated sales not as high, I guess, because we've drilled down more into the niche, but
Still, still pretty legit though. I think that would be over
yeah,
1,500 if you added those up. It's
yeah,
not as competitive, and the prices are a little bit higher. So that'd be like something to think about, and that's actually a good. I'm actually again glad you did that because that'd be a good tip for people. Like for example, like when we were if we had just searched baby towels, it probably would have been too competitive of a niche if we were just trying to target baby towels. But instead, now we're trying to target hooded baby towels. So it's little towels that have a hood that kids can put over their heads. So this would be kind of like a similar situation, right? Instead of just targeting plastic cutlery, like silver plastic cutlery is like niche down one step further. Which actually, I would, if I was you, I would target silver plastic cutlery instead of just the plastic cutlery.
yeah, for sure. And Greg, what do you think? Because I know that a lot of these products might be slightly below the price point, but I would imagine that they would be quite cheap to manufacture. So it would be worth looking into because it might still be viable even if it's, slightly under £15.
Yeah, what I'd probably try to do at this point is like figure out, like why is that person charging 20 pounds and why is one guy selling them for 16 pounds? Is it just a bigger pack or are they like higher end or they get better reviews? So that'd be something to like dig into deeper. And I'd want to see is like, could I sell mine for 16, 18, 20 or, or more? And if so, like what would I need to do that? Because you're exactly right. These would be really inexpensive to manufacture. So like we're probably talking like 100 pack would probably cost like I don't know $2 to manufacture. Like a 200 packs like whatever probably 350. So it's not that much more to manufacture stuff like this just because it's pretty inexpensive to manufacture like plastic stuff like this in China. But it's obvious that they're selling it for a lot more money.
Yeah, for sure. So again, this is definitely something that I would put on my list. And all of those things that Greg's just mentioned are things that I'm going to want to research, which we will be covering next week and maybe the week after when we go into more depth with the product research. But you can start to see the thought processes that I'm going through and then the tips that Greg's giving me as well, to see which of these products is going to make it to my list and which aren't. So let's take a look at some reading glasses.
So while you do that, Kim, I want to just note like when coming up with product ideas, it's good to try to come up with a whole bunch of stuff, and it's oftentimes really random stuff. So I guess that's one of the ways that like the Jungle Scout web app makes it so much easier. Because if Kim was just like sitting in her office like she is and trying to come up with ideas, she probably wouldn't think of dog rocks because I don't think anyone's ever heard of those before. Like if I don't think she uses glasses, so she probably wouldn't have come up with that idea. Silver plastic cutlery, probably not. So these are the types of like kind of like obscure things that often are really good opportunities on Amazon, but it's oftentimes really hard to like come up with all these ideas. So that's where the web app really helps out a lot. So you could try to do it yourself, like without the tools. I think a lot of you though will quickly find that like when you're sitting at your computer, it's kind of difficult to come up with these ideas. Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's fine. It's a good point. I mean, I've literally only looked at the first sort of 4 pages of results from the web app so far, and I've already managed to stumble upon these ideas that I wouldn't have thought have about otherwise. So it's a good point. So with these glasses, I'm not so sure about these ones, Greg. It looks like estimated sales is kind of lower. There's some with really high number of reviews. Um, so I'm not really as sure about this one. The price point's kind of low as well, I guess. Only for the ones where they're selling like a 5 pack does it start to become more around the price point. So
Yeah, I don't think that one's worth adding to your list. I agree. Low price, not that many sales with a ton of reviews. I'll also just like mention it real quick here. Like we found one of these in the web app. However, the results when you look at them live on Amazon might be a little bit different. Or that product might not even show up when we search for like what we think the main keyword is, because all the products in the database, that's like cached information. So it could be like 24 or 48 hours old. And what she's looking at on the extension right now is live up to date. So, like in the web app, it might say it had 85 reviews and now it has 92 reviews because that was a few days ago or etc. So I know that's a common question people have.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Right, there's just a couple more. We'll just try and blast through these cardboard boxes. Okay, and this is quite an interesting one. Can you imagine being able to tell your friends, I make a side income by selling cardboard boxes?
Yeah, but oftentimes it's like this weird stuff that does so well. That's what's great about it.
I like it. Okay, so estimated sales really high. How about this, Greg? It looks like the top seller is ranking number 6, and it's Amazon. How would we feel about going against Amazon?
Good question. And again, I know a lot of people have this question, so I'm glad you asked it. I probably forget to talk about this. I am not scared at all to compete against Amazon, and I actually prefer it over competing with other private label sellers or other like FBA sellers. And the reason for that is Amazon does a really poor job optimizing their listing. They normally don't do pay per click, so it's easier to compete against Amazon. And I've never seen anything to lead me to believe that Amazon would rank their own products over FBA sellers, because keep in mind, like, Amazon's still making good money off every sale that comes for an FBA seller. They might actually be making more than they do selling their own products. So yeah, I don't mind at all competing against Amazon. That's a good question.
Awesome. So despite that, the fact that Amazon are there ranking at the top, it looks like there's really solid demand here. Reviews are really high. I think there's one seller that's got 15, one at 32 reviews. So competition's going to be high on this one, but I think definitely one for the list because there's such high demand there and it would be so easy to manufacture. So I think that's one to look into.
Yeah, I agree. And again, we could look into like niching down into this a little bit more too. Like some of those boxes there may be boxes for, I don't know, not like moving, like small boxes for gifts or something, right? So we could like look into niching down further for potentially moving boxes or something else if we find like there's a certain area of that does a lot better than the rest.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. And then, Greg, do we have time for the last product or do you
Yeah,
want to
go
get?
for it. We have time.
Yep. Cool. So this was a clothing rail. This one's pretty big and it looks like it's kind of marketed towards like a store or a shop rather than, I said the American and the English there.
Nice.
So clothing rail.
Do you speak any other languages besides American and proper English?
Nah, I know a
German.
tiny bit of Swedish
Oh,
randomly.
okay.
um, okay. So yeah, this is what I was talking about because I have one. They're really like cheap and useful for the house. Some of them are over like £25 and some are 8.95. So let's see. Okay, so again, good demand, definitely over 1,500. We're getting that from just that top seller there. But it looks like there are other sellers that are doing really well as well, Greg. So that goes back to what you mentioned earlier about depth. Um, Number of reviews is quite high, so it looks, again, quite high competition. And one thing to bear in mind with this product would be that it would be quite a large box to ship. So that's another consideration. But I'd definitely consider adding this one to the list just to take a look deeper.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so that's all of them. I know I haven't filled this in because we didn't have time, but for all of those products that I found, I would then fill in this information here and then build it up until you've got at least 30 or more. If you've got the time, definitely spend more time and get as many ideas as possible. Because once you start to drill down into that, which we'll cover next week, you might start to find that a lot of them, they're not worth moving forwards with, but hopefully there'll be at least one in there that is going to be a killer product that you can launch. So yeah, that's back over to you then, Greg.
Excellent. Thank you. With that being said, it's time for you guys to get your homework. So we are going to be going over this more next week. We haven't finished our product research. We wanted this to be like an intro session to start getting you guys, start understanding the overall philosophies and the overall blueprint of how to find these good opportunities. I'm sure you still probably have a lot of questions. We'll try to answer a few at the end of this if we have a few extra minutes. But like I said, don't worry. Like there's still tons more of these sessions coming up. We'll read all your questions in the chat box. And if I don't get to them today because we're almost out of time here, we can make sure that we cover those in next week's session because we're not giving up on product research yet. So what I recommend for you guys is to create your own list of products, at least 30, ideally maybe 50. You can use the same spreadsheet that Kim was using. You can find that at junglescout.com/session1-HW for your homework. And we'd like you guys to add to this list, to start to create this list. And next week we can go over a little bit more like advanced tactics, how to kind of like drill down or how to then narrow down this list. And like I said, we're going to do everything we can to help you guys to make sure that you're confident on the selection you have and that you have a good product to sell. And then you'll also be able to find out what product we're going to sell. This is just a rough guide I put together of what the upcoming weeks are going to look like. So this week was our introduction. We did a little bit of initial research. Next week, we're going to be going over more product research. We're going to see how far we get next week, and we could even do a third episode just on product research because it's so important. But then we're going to teach you guys how to set up your business to sell in Europe, whether you live in Europe or outside of Europe. We'll bring on an expert guest for that one probably. We'll talk about finding a supplier outreach. We'll give you guys templates to reach out to them, how to import from China. We'll go over all these steps that you guys need to know of how to do this stuff. So trademarks and branding, planning for the future, photography, how to set up packaging, creating a good listing, our launch strategy, etc., etc. We're going to make sure you guys know all the steps on how to create this successful business, and you'll be watching over our shoulder as we do it. So I hope all of you guys are going to be joining us next week. I hope you enjoy this session. It looks like we have 3 minutes, so I'm going to read off a couple questions real quick. Let's see. How do you know when there is a lot of new competition on the product, and how much is the limit where you wouldn't want to do it? Yeah, so we've kind of gone over that a little bit this session. We'll be talking about that more next week, but the easiest way to gauge the amount of competition is from the number of reviews. And people say like, well, what about future competition? Well, keep in mind, like when you launch a product, then you're going to be gaining lots of reviews. You're going to be gaining lots of sales history. So then you're going to be that guy that's difficult to compete with. Maybe we'll do one other question here real quick. Oh, this is a good question. Would you consider selling your U.S. products in Europe? Kim, do you want to take a stab at this, or do you want me to answer this one?
Yeah, I can go for this.
Go for it.
So, I mean, we could do that because we've already got it manufactured, but the problem is we don't know if there is demand for that product. So there's not really any point selling it in Europe if nobody's searching for it and nobody wants to buy it. So, I mean, you could do a search like we just have to see if there is any demand and see if it is worth launching the same product. But we're sort of starting again because we want to find like the perfect product with high demand and low competition to launch. So
yeah, I totally agree. I'll just add to that real quick that we can check to see if our marshmallow sticks or our hooded baby towels are selling well there. Keep in mind though that we're going to be doing an addition, like a new shipment that we would ship directly to Europe anyway. So since that's the case, it doesn't really benefit us too much to send a product there if there's not solid demand. So that's why, we wanted to go over the whole process because a lot of you guys don't already have products in the U.S. and you're starting from scratch. We wanted you to look over our shoulder as we do that. And then we'll also be checking for demand because, like Kim said, if there's no demand in Europe, we're not sending our stuff there. So otherwise, they're just sitting in warehouses forever. So with that being said, we just hit the 1 hour mark. I'm going to try to be disciplined about keeping these at an hour. But if you put your questions in the comments wherever you're tuning in from, or in the comments or in the chat right now, we can try to understand better what parts of this you guys don't understand well, and we'll be more than happy to try to help you with all those things in the coming sessions. So that being said, Kim, thank you very much for joining us. You did a great job. I'm sure the audience really appreciated that. And we'll be back next week on $1 Million Wednesday. Same place, same time. Actually, I think both of us will have different backdrops, but You can find us at the same place at the same time on YouTube or Facebook or Periscope, wherever you're tuning in from. So, yeah, thanks again, Kim. See you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.